solve one problem based upon triple effect evaporator. Based upon triple effect evaporator, today we are going to solve problem. So here we have this question: estimate the requirement of steam and heat transfer surface area. Okay, so we have problem: estimate the requirement of steam and heat transfer surface and the evaporating temperature in each effect for triple effect evaporator evaporating 5000 kg per hour of 10% solution up to 30% solution. So input to this triple effect evaporator is 5000 kg per hour of weak liquor, okay, and that contain 10% solution, that means 10% solute, and that concentration is increased up to 30% solution. For this, steam is available at 200 kilopascal. Okay, the steam pressure is given 200 kilopascal. They have mentioned it is gauge. Please note that. And pressure in the evaporator space in the final effect. So as it is final effect means our triple effect evaporator, there are 3 evaporators. So final effect means in third evaporator, that pressure is given 60 kilopascal absolute. Okay, and to solve this problem, they have given certain values. Assume that overall heat transfer coefficient R, they have given this value 2270, 2000 and 1420, and that unit is joule per meter square per second per degree Celsius in first effect, second effect and third effect. That value of overall heat transfer coefficient is given. You have to neglect sensible heat effect. That means we have considered this sensible heat effect in single effect evaporator, but they have said that in this you can neglect the sensible heat effect. That means this formula mCp delta T, you can neglect that sensible heat effect. Okay, and assume no boiling point elevation. No boiling point elevation means the temperature, boiling point of solution and boiling point of solvent is same. You can consider that. Actually this is not the case, but you can consider that boiling point of solvent and boiling point of solution same. And you have to assume that equal heat transfer in each effect and equal area of heat exchanger. So you can consider that equal area of heat exchanger, that means whatever area for heat exchanger A1 in first effect, that is equal to second effect, that is equal to third effect. You can consider that. Similarly, you can consider that heat transfer rate in first effect is equal to second effect, that is equal to third effect. Okay, so with this we have to solve this particular problem. So first we go for the flow diagram of this triple effect evaporator, and whatever data given in this particular problem, we'll put that data in that particular flow diagram, in that particular flow diagram. Okay, so please concentrate here. Okay, so first our basis, here basis means important data they have given. That input flow rate is 500 kg per hour. So this input flow rate, that is mass flow rate of weak liquor, they have given it is 5000 kg per hour. Okay, so now I just draw this figure as per our previous conventions, that whenever the vapor phase is there, we will go for red color. So here vapor phase, red color, okay, and then here heat transfer takes place, vapor generated into first effect, whatever vapor generated in the first effect that work as steam in second effect. Similarly, vapor generated in second effect that work as steam for third effect. Okay, so this is our diagram. Okay, then I just give blue color for liquid phase. So I just give blue color for liquid phase. That means here weak liquor coming to the first effect. Okay, heat transfer takes place when that passes to this film tubes. Okay, so whatever output you get, this will be feed to the second effect. In second effect, what happens? Again heat transfer takes place here. You get thick liquor to outlet, and this thick liquor that will be feed to the third effect. Okay, so here we have this first effect, here we have this second effect, and here we have this third effect here. Okay, so this will be your MW, that is weak liquor coming to the first effect 1 MW, and that MW value is 5000 kg per hour. Okay, this will be your MV1, that means mass flow rate of vapor from first effect. Okay, and corresponding temperature here will be T1. So whatever inside temperature here T1, same temperature of that vapor will be here. Okay, then here the temperature will be T2, and here temperature will be T3. Okay, with respect to T1, pressure P1 here will be there, corresponding pressure in this evaporator will be P2, and pressure in this third effect will be P3. Okay, so this will be our MT1. This will be our MT1. That means mass flow rate of thick liquor from first, and here this concentration of solute in thick liquor, that is T1. Constant mole fraction of solute or weight fraction of solute in thick liquor. Okay, that XST1. That value you have to find out afterward. Then XST2T will be there, and its corresponding flow rate will be MT2. Okay, and final whatever coming here, that flow rate will be MT3, and final concentration of solute in thick liquor T3, that value is given to us. That value is given to us, that is concentration increased from 10% to 30%. So final liquor output we are getting 30%, and therefore this value will be 0.3. This value will be 0.3 because that 30% concentration. Okay, here MW corresponding input concentration of thick liquor is given, and that concentration is 10%. 10% means this value will be here 0.1. 10% means this value will be 0.1. And that concentration increases from 10% to 30%, that means 0.1, and output here you will get at is 0.3. In between this, that values are not given, you have to find out that values. We have to find out values, and you can find out these values when we are going to solve this problem. Okay, similarly again I just here whatever this vapor is given to the condenser. Okay, the important thing they have given that the pressure in this third effect is given. The pressure in this third effect is given 60 kilopascal absolute. So pressure in third effect evaporator is 60 kilopascal they have given. Okay, and they have given steam pressure. That steam is flow rate is MS, that we have to find out. But the pressure of steam is given, that is given 200 kilopascal absolute. So you please note that this 200 kilopascal gauge pressure is there. This pressure is gauge. You please note that. While this pressure is absolute. Important thing, just note that here that pressure is absolute in the third effect evaporator. While in first effect that steam coming to the first effect evaporator, they have given this pressure gauge pressure. So from this pressure, by using steam table, you can find out corresponding temperatures. You can find out corresponding temperature. So here you will get condensate MC1 from first, this will be from second evaporator MC2, mass flow rate of condensate from third effect, and this we will get as MC3. Okay. Similarly, in final effect condenser, when water sprayed on this vapors, what will happen? You will get water outlet. You will get here water. Okay. So here important thing, mass flow rate MV1 T1. Here mass flow rate that is coming from second effect MV2 and corresponding temperature will be T2 here. Similarly, here mass flow rate coming from third effect, that will be MV3 and corresponding temperature will be T3. Okay. So here when you consider this particular evaporator, when you consider this evaporator, here input temperature of steam will be Ts. Input temperature of that steam will be Ts. Okay, that we will get from this pressure. So input temperature is Ts and inside temperature is T1. So heater, first effect evaporator, steam coming, the temperature will be Ts and inside temperature will be T1. Our second effect evaporator, steam coming, the temperature will be T1 and inside temperature will be T2. Similarly, regarding the third effect evaporator, steam coming, the temperature will be T2 and inside temperature will be T3. Inside temperature will be T3. Okay. And here initial concentration of solute in weak liquor, that is first liquor, that is 0.1, while final concentration you are getting here 0.3, because 10% to 30%. Okay. Now with this data, now I try to solve this problem. You just please concentrate. We will use our material balance equation to find out these particular concentrations. Okay. So just you go for this material balance equations. So step by step we will solve that. So first, material balance of evaporator. Material balance of evaporator. Now here you know that whatever solute coming to the evaporator, so how much solute coming to the evaporator, so you just go for the solute balance. You go for the solute balance. So solute coming to the evaporator, how much? Solute coming to evaporator. That is equal to solute in final thick liquor. So what I am writing, you just please concentrate. Solute coming to the evaporator. So you will see that the solute is coming to the evaporator, that is from this weak liquor. So whatever solute coming to this evaporator, so all that solute you will get in this final thick liquor. All that solute you will get in final thick liquor. So when you consider this particular whole evaporator, and suppose this is our boundary line and this is our boundary line. So here solute is coming here. So solute is added at this point here. Solute added at this point, and all that solute coming from this side. So whatever solute added to the first evaporator, all that solute you get in this third evaporator, in the outlet or in the thick liquor third. In that MT3 you will get all the solute. And so I write down here my material balance equation. I must write down this material balance equation, that MW into XSW. So this quantity gives solute in this coming to the evaporator, and that is equal to MT3. That is equal to MT3 into X T3. So X3 means what? Fraction of solute in thick liquor, third thick liquor. MT3 means what? Mass flow rate of third thick liquor. MWB means mass flow rate of weak liquor to the first evaporator. And XSW means what? Fraction of solute in weak liquor. Okay, so these values given to us, you will have to just substitute these values. We know this MW value is 500. Fraction of solute in weak liquor, that is first is 0.1, that is equal to MT3 that into 0.3. Okay, and solution of this particular first equation, that gives value of MT3, that gives value of MT3, and that MT3 is coming 167 kg per hour. I just take round figure, you get MT3, that is 167 kg per hour. Final liquor, thick liquor flow rate. Okay. So when we know that final thick liquor is 167, then you can find out how much total water evaporated. Okay. So last time we have decided this mass balance equation, total mass balance equation. Okay, mass balance total equation, we have studied that. Just write down this. So this MW, that is equal to, last time we have written this, that is equal to MV1 plus MV2 plus MV3 plus MT3. Okay, so here we know this MW, we know this MT3, and so we can find out this total water removed. Okay, or this is nothing but what? Total water removed. Total water removed or total water vaporized. And this total water vaporized will be how much? MW minus MT3. So we know the value of MW is 500. Just we have calculated MT3 is 167, and that gives total water vaporized in this triple effect evaporator is 333 kg per hour. 33 kg per hour. Okay, so we get this total water evaporated, and we have to use this in the calculation. Okay, so just you note down this important thing, that is total water evaporated is 333. Okay, now I use this some equation or assumptions. So what are the assumptions they have shown there? They said that equal heat transfer in each effect. They have said that equal heat transfer in each effect. So that particular we are going to use now. Okay. Now what is that equal heat transfer? So this Q is equal to rate of heat transfer in first effect evaporator is Q1 A1 delta T1. That is equal to second heat exchange in second effect evaporator T2, and that is equal to rate of heat transfer in third effect evaporator, that is U3 A3 delta T. Okay, now they have mentioned that, but they have said that A1, that is area of heat transfer in first effect, that is equal to area of heat transfer in second effect, that is equal to area of heat transfer in third effect. Okay, and that is equal to A. So as this is constant, you can just remove these values, so that you will get one equation. And what equation you will get here from this? You will get like this: U1 into delta T1, that is equal to U2 into delta T2, and that is equal to U3 into delta T3. Okay, so you will get this equation because they have given that equal heat transfer they have given equal heat transfer in first effect equal to second effect equal to third effect, and as area is same, you can cancel this area and you will get this one equation. You will get this particular one equation. Now what is use of this equation? Now we'll see that. You see that just you consider this first equation and second equation. So when you compare this U1, you get this equation U1 delta T1 is equal to A2 delta T2. From this you get delta T2 is equal to delta T2 is equal to what you will get here? You will get U1 delta T1 divided by T2 divided by UT. Okay? From this and this equation. Similarly, when you consider this equation, you get that delta T3 is equal to U1 delta T1 divided by U3 divided by U3. Okay, so you get this. Now I just make this bracket because these are important things. So important thing, just you have to note down, and just I make bracket here, small rectangle, so that will come to know that how it is important. So just we are what important things we are finding. This is important. This value is important to us. You see that how to utilize that. Okay. So you get this. Now just you concentrate what I am writing. Now one equation I am writing. What just to please concentrate. What I am writing, just note down. That delta T1 plus delta T2 plus delta T3, that is equal to delta T. Now what is meaning of delta T? Just try to understand. Delta T1 means temperature difference in first effect evaporator. Okay. So how much temperature difference in first evaporator? So when you consider temperature difference in first evaporator, here we have steam temperature, maximum steam temperature is Ts and inside temperature is T1. And so temperature difference in first effect evaporator will be how much? In this first evaporator, our temperature difference will be Ts minus T1. In first effect evaporator, this temperature difference will be Ts minus T1. In second effect evaporator, temperature difference will be how much? Here whatever steam is coming, that temperature is T1. Inside temperature is T2. And therefore here temperature difference is T1 minus T2. And about third effect, here steam is coming at temperature T1. Inside temperature is T3. And therefore here difference will be how much? T2 minus T3. Where T3 is the inside temperature. T3 is the inside temperature. Okay. Now see here, with respect to this 60 kilopascal absolute pressure, you can find out the temperature T3 in this triple effect evaporator. Similarly, with respect to temperature pressure 200 kilopascal gauge here, first effect, the steam pressure, you can find out Ts here from steam table. So same, just I am writing here T1. How much temperature difference in first effect evaporator? In first effect evaporator, temperature difference is Ts minus T1 plus second effect evaporator, temperature difference is T1 minus T2 plus third effect temperature difference T2 minus T3. Okay. So what will be final equation? When you add this, what happens? This T1 gets cancelled, minus T1 plus T1. This minus T2 plus T2 gets cancelled, and you get this total temperature difference as Ts minus T3. Ts means what? Temperature of steam that is coming to the first evaporator. While T3 means what? Temperature in last effect evaporator. Okay, and these two value you will get from steam table. These two value you will get from steam table. With respect to the pressure, you can get this from steam table. Okay, from steam table you get this value. Ts means temperature of steam. They have given pressure. Pressure is given 200 kilopascal gauge. Kilopascal gauge pressure is given. And for this 200 kilopascal gauge, the temperature of steam is 134 degrees Celsius. Similarly, pressure in last effect evaporator is given. How much it is given? Okay, it is given how much pressure is given in last effect evaporator? 60 kilopascal. This pressure is given 60 kilopascal in last effect, and the absolute value is there, that is absolute. And for this 60 kilopascal, the temperature in this last effect evaporator, it is coming, how much it is coming? I think it is coming 86 degrees Celsius. You can check that value from steam table. You will get that particular value. Yes, it is coming 86 degrees Celsius, and that temperature is 86 degrees Celsius. For pressure 60 kilopascal, this temperature is 86 degrees Celsius, and at 86 degrees Celsius, lambda 3, you can say that is 2294 kilojoule per kg. This value will get for this 86 degrees temperature. For 60 kilopascal, you have this temperature 86 and corresponding latent heat 2294 kilojoule per kg. Similarly, consider to the steam 200 kilopascal gauge, temperature will be 134 and corresponding latent heat 2164 kilojoule per kg. Kilojoule per kg. Okay. So we get this value Ts and T3. Okay, and we have this delta T1 plus delta T2 plus delta 3T, that will be Ts minus T3. Important thing here, we have cancelled minus T1 plus T1, but we don't know the value of T1. You please note that in this equation we have just cancelled that minus T1 and plus T1, but we don't know the value of T1. Similarly, we have cancelled T2 and T2 here, minus T2 plus T2, but we don't know the value. To get this value, now we are going to use this equation. To get this value, we are going to use this equation. Okay, so just concentrate what I am writing here. Okay, so now you go concentrate on this particular equation. Okay, now just concentrate over this equation. Delta T1 I just write down as it is. I just write down delta T1 as it is, plus now delta T2 is how much? You just concentrate here. Delta T2 value is given here. Delta T2 is equal to U1 delta T1 upon U2. So same I am just writing here, U1 delta T1 divided by U2. Similarly, delta T3 value is given here. Same I am writing here, U1 divided by U3 delta T1, and that is equal to 134 minus 86. Okay, now I know this value of U1 is given in this problem, U2 also given, U1 given and U3 given. So when I substitute all this value and delta T1 common, delta T1 common, delta T1 common. So I just take delta T1 common. Okay, bracket, here I have taken delta T1 common, here we have this bracket, so inside will be what? 1, this delta T1 1 will be here, then U1 by U2 plus U1 by U3, and that is equal to that difference is equal to, how much it is, this difference is 48, that is equal to 48 degrees Celsius. Now here U1 value is given, U1 value given, U2 given, U3 given. That value is given to us. U1 is how much? Your value of U1 is 2000. Sorry, it is U1 is 2270. That value is given. U2 is 2000. Value is given. U3 value is given. U3 is 1420. So just to substitute this value 1420, 2000 and 2270. 2270. So when you substitute that, from that you will get delta T1. From that you will get delta T1, and that delta T1 is coming 12.9 degrees Celsius. That is delta T1 is equal to 12.9 degrees Celsius. Okay. Then delta T2 will be how much? Then delta T2 will be what? U1 by U2 into delta T1. So from this you will get value, because you know U1, you know U2, you know delta T1 also. From this you will get delta T2, and the delta T2 will be 14.6 degrees Celsius. Okay. So here delta T1. Similarly, delta T3, that will equal to U1 by U3 delta T1. So you know U1, you know U3, you know delta T1. You get this value, and that value is 20.6 degrees Celsius. 20.6 degrees Celsius. Okay. So this now temperatures, now we will use this temperature difference. Now delta T1 means what? Ts minus T1. Ts minus T1 is 12.9 degrees Celsius. We know this Ts is how much? Ts is 134. And from this you will get a value of T1, that will be, T1 will be 134 minus 12.9. And that value will be 121. You can take round figure, 121 degrees Celsius. That means actually it is 120.9, but okay, actually it is how much? Instead of 12.9, you can consider this is 13 degrees Celsius. You can consider it is 13 degrees Celsius. So if you consider 13 degrees Celsius round figure, then automatically you will get is 121 degree Celsius. Right? Similarly, this delta T2 means what? T1 minus T2. And that is equal to 14.6 degrees Celsius. We know the value of T1, just we have calculated here. You substitute it, and from this you will get T2, and that T2 will be how much then? That T2 will be, how much T2 will be here? 121 minus 14.6 degrees Celsius. You will get T2 value, and that T2 is coming 106. It's coming 106.5.
So here it is actually 120.9 minus 14.6, that is 106.5.
Okay. And T3, you can use this, but we know that temperature in last effective operator
T1 is 120.9 degrees Celsius. 120.
But you can use that and you can check this value. So you will get same T3 around this 86 degrees Celsius. So with this calculation,
you will get it actually 121.1.
temperature in
T1
first
is
evaporator
121.1. T1 is
degrees Celsius.
121.1.
Temperature in second evaporator T2 as 106.
And therefore T1 you can take
Temperature
121.
in third effect evaporator.
Actual temperature T1 is 121.1 degrees Celsius.
Okay, so now just we get the temperature in all three effects evaporator. So now we go for another some calculations. You will use this in the calculation. Now here you please note that for this temperature your effect. So first effect temperature we have here temperature 121.
T1 121.1 degrees Celsius, T2 106.5 degrees Celsius, and T3 86 degrees Celsius.
The calculation of MV1, MV2 and MV3. So before that you have to find out corresponding latent heat with respect to this temperature from steam table, and this latent heat you will get it is 2200 kilojoule per kg. Similarly, with respect to this temperature, you will get latent heat lambda 2 2240 kilojoule per kg. And for this temperature from steam 3 lambda steam table you will get lambda 3 2294 kilojoule per kg. And this all latent heat you have to use in energy balance equation. Okay, so now I am just writing one important statement here. You please concentrate on that. So here you know that steam gives energy in first effect and vapor is generated in the first effect. That vapor gives energy in second effect. From that you get vapors in second effect, that is give energy in third effect, like that. So I just write some important statement, please concentrate here. So what I am writing, heat given by steam. So with the help of this heat given by steam, that is equal to heat absorbed by mv1, that means vapor is generated, so heat is absorbed by that vapor, mass flow rate of vapor from first effect, that is equal to heat gain by mv2, and that is equal to heat gain by mv3. So what is meaning here? So whatever heat is given by the steam, with that heat energy vapor is generated in the first effect. So that vapor generated in the first effect gives heat to the second effect evaporator, and you get vapors in second evaporator. And same heat given by the second evaporator in the third effect, and you get this vapor mv3. In short, in energy balance form, in energy balance equation, I just write down that heat given by steam is what? So heat given by steam means latent heat is given by the steam and you get condensate. So heat given by steam will be ms into lambda s, that is equal to heat absorbed by this steam 1, or that is vapor 1, that will be mv1 into lambda 1, that is equal to mass flow rate generated in second effect mv2 into lambda 2, and that is equal to mv3 into lambda 3. So the steam gives energy, it absorbs whatever heat absorbed, that is given to the second effect, then it is given third effect. Like this we have equal sign. So this equal sign we have to use in the calculation of mass flow rate. So how we are going to use it, just please concentrate here. Now here we get this mv1 is into lambda 1, that is equal to mv into lambda 3, and that is equal to mv3 into lambda 3. Now you please concentrate on these two. Okay, from this you will get that, mv2, that is equal to mv1 lambda 1 divided by lambda 2. Okay, then now you consider this equation and this equation. From this what you will get? You will get mv3, that will be equal to mv1 lambda 1 divided by lambda 3. Okay, so this one important equation you get here. Another important equation you get here: heat given by steam, heat absorbed in the first effect. Heat given, same heat is given in second effect, heat absorbed. Same heat is given in third effect and heat absorbed. Okay, so we get this mv1 upon lambda 1 by lambda 2, mv2 is equal to, similarly we get mv3, that is equal to mv1 into lambda 1 divided by lambda 3. Now I just write down one equation. We have this one equation, mv1 plus mv2 plus mv3. Total water evaporated is 333 kg per hour. Already we have this one equation we have solved. If we just go for this previous equation, we see that here we have this equation, mv1 is equal to mv plus mv2 plus mv3, that is equal to 333 kg per hour. So now I just substitute above this equation values. So I will get here mv1 plus mv2 is equal to what? mv1 into lambda 1 divided by lambda 2 plus mv1 lambda 1 divided by lambda 3. Okay, so and this is equal to 333 kg per hour. Okay, so when I take this mv1 common, what will we get here? I will get 1 plus lambda 1 by lambda 2 plus lambda 1 by lambda 3, that is equal to 33 kg per hour. Now I know this value of lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, lambda. Okay, so here unknown is only mv1. Here unknown is only mv1, and from this you will get value of mv1. mv1 is equal to, mv1 you will get equal to 113 kg per hour. Then okay, then you substitute this mv1 in this equation, that mv2 is equal to mv1 lambda 1 divided by lambda 2. You get value of mv2 as 111 kg per hour. Okay, similarly you will get mv3 is equal to mv1 lambda 1 divided by lambda 3. You substitute that, you will get answer 108 kg per hour. Okay, 10 kg per hour. Okay, now we have this already equation 1. We have already this one equation. Okay, so just I take this equation here. What we have equation now? Ms into lambda s, that is equal to mv1 into lambda 1. Now we know this value of mv1, we know the value of lambda 1, we know the value of lambda s. From that you can calculate ms is equal to mv1 into lambda 1 divided by lambda s. mv1 how much? 113 into lambda value is 2200. Okay, it is in kilojoule per kg divided by lambda s. Lambda s is how much? 2164. From this you get value, this is 115 kilo kg per hour. So this way we have to find out steam flow rate. This way we have to find out steam flow rate. So you get ms value this much, 115 kg per hour. Okay, now then we'll go for calculation of area. We have this equation, Q is equal to U1 A1 delta T1. Okay, this is first suppose. You know the value of U1, and this Q is equal to how much? This Q will be ms into lambda s. We know this value of ms into lambda s. U1 A1 delta T1. Okay, so we have to substitute that values now. So we know the value of ms. Ms is how much? 115 into lambda s is how much? 2164. You please know it is kilojoule per kg. It is kilojoule per kg. This quantity kg per hour, that is equal to value of u1, that is u1. U1 is 2270 and its unit is joule per meter square per degree Celsius per second. Joule per meter per degree Celsius per second into area A1 and into delta T1 temperature difference. That is, we know this temperature difference, it is 12.9 degrees Celsius. 12.9 degrees Celsius. So here please know that here it is in joule and here it is in kilojoule. Here it is in second. Okay, and here this value is per hour. So we have to go for proper conversion. We have to go for proper conversion. So I just go for that conversion. How to do that? Here 115 kg we want per second. So I just write here 3600 second, right? Into 2164 into 10 raised to 3. So I get here joule per kg. Okay, here it is, so kg gets cancelled. I get unit joule per second here. This is second. Okay, that is equal to, here degree Celsius gets cancelled. Area will be in meter square gets cancelled. Here you get joule per second. You will get here 2270 joule per meter square per second per degree Celsius into area into 12.9 degrees Celsius. Right? So we will solve now this. We will go for the solution. From this you will get A1, and that A1 is coming 2.4 meter square. Okay, so this area is of first, this is heat exchange area in first effect evaporator. So this is in first effect evaporator. So total heat exchange area, as we have 3 effect evaporator, so that will be 3 into A1, as we have considered same heat exchange area in all 3 effects, that becomes 3 into 2.4, that is equal to 7.2 meters. Okay, so this is our final heat exchange area required for evaporator, 7.2. Okay, so final answer 7.2 area required, total area. And now we can calculate other quantities also, that is steam economy. Now the steam economy that is equal to total water evaporated, water removed upon steam used. So that coming water evaporated is 333, steam use is 115. Here you have the steam economy, you will get steam economy divided by 115, it is coming 2.89. Okay, so this is our final answer concerned to the steam economy.